Hello, friends. Today we will be talking about offenses, why we get offended, why we're more likely to get offended when certain things are said. Stick around. Hi, friends. This is Bethany Jennings, and you're listening to We Should Talk. It's a podcast where we talk about anything and everything to encourage, equip, and empower you to be a decent human. Let's talk. All right. So as promised, we're going to talk about offenses and why we get offended when certain things are said as compared to other statements that don't offend us. And this, of course, is just surface. We're not going to do a deep dive today. But I do want to talk about it because I think it's a very interesting opportunity for introspection. It's one that I have been using. I certainly am not immune to being bothered by people's statements. But I do try really hard to be biblical in that, Scripture says offense will come. It has to come. But blessed is he who is not offended, right? Right? Blessed is he who loves the law, and nothing shall by any means offend him. That's really what it says. I try to love the law of the Lord. I do love the law of the Lord. There are certain parts of it that, of course, are tougher to love, right? Because discipline is not comforting. Discipline is not easy. It's not comfortable. Now, you find comfort in it eventually once you understand the practice of discipline and the discipline becomes your norm. There's comfort in the discipline, but even Scripture talks about that and says that it's not comfortable in the moment, but it's for your own good. Anyways, here's the rule of thumb for what offends you and what doesn't. The more absurd the statement, the less likely you are to be offended by it. Okay? Let me say that again. The more absurd the statement, the less likely you are to be offended by it. For example, if someone were to say, "Oh my word, Bethany Jennings is an alien, and I know it to be true. She is an alien, and I know she has 4 heads, and also she can breathe underwater." I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, how dare they say that about me?" Because honestly, it would be cool to breathe underwater, but I can't. But, oh, how dare they say that about me? No, because it's absolutely absurd. But if someone were to say, "You're too quick with your tongue and you hurt people's feelings," and I would be hurt by that because I know that's something I struggle with. So, the closer to home the accusation, the more likely it is to bother you. Right? The more truth in the accusation, the more likely it is to hurt you. If someone were to say, with accusations in general, right? If someone were to say, "I saw Bethany buying a dime bag in a bad part of town," you know how hard I would laugh at them? Because there is no chance that's happening. No chance. But if someone were to say, I don't know, Bethany was too hard on the musicians today, and she was really tough on the singers and really cracked down, and she hurt some people's feelings, and like, I've had to do that before. No, I don't ever intentionally hurt people's feelings if I can help it, but that's more close to something that would actually happen, right? So Just note that when you are really bothered by what someone says, it may be because there is some sliver of truth in it, or some sliver of a possibility in it, right? I wouldn't be offended if someone said they saw me riding a giraffe because it's absurd. I would be hurt if someone said something closer to the truth, closer to reality. But here's the thing. When we feel that hurt based on someone's statements, based on someone's whatever, the first thing, again, this is our first reaction to any kind of hurt or bother or ruffling of our feathers. Our first response should be, look inward. Why is this bothering me? Is there some amount of truth in this? And if there's not, then say, why is this person saying it? Is there some issue in our relationship? Is there some breakdown in our trust? Is there some breakdown in our communications? Have I hurt this person in some way that they would accuse this or start this rumor or run their mouth? I think this is the missing element in a lot of self-help approaches, is you have to look at yourself first. You can't always blame other people for your offense. You can't change their behavior, but you can use introspection to change your reaction. So just practice that. Some scenarios. Let's see. You have a friend, using air quotes there. You have a human, there we go, in your life who has been running their mouth about you, saying that that you're a know-it-all and that all you do is tell people what they should be doing and you can't even do it yourself, and just all, that kind of mean, hateful stuff. You find out that's being said. What's your reaction? How dare they, right? That's your first reaction sometimes. How dare they? Depending on who it is. For some people, I just laugh and I say, oh, the foolishness continues. But your initial reaction may be, how dare they? I don't do that. But again, if it wasn't close to something that really could happen, it wouldn't sting as much. So take a second, look at yourself, say, who have I interacted with lately that I have been a little overly opinionated with, or overly bossy with, or overly instructive with? Who have I interacted with lately? Was that person even there for that? Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay, well, if you have done that, well, go to that person and say, hey, remember, blah, 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 blah. I just want to let you know, I'm not trying to be ugly or whatever. I just was trying to be helpful. I'm sorry, I may have overstepped. That's the appropriate way to handle it. As far as the one running their mouth, depending on your relationship with them and depending if you care enough, you can go to them and say, hey, I was told that you are saying, fill in the blank. Is there a reason you're saying that? And either they'll come up for air and let you know about it, or they'll lie to your face. Either way, they know you know, and they're probably less likely to talk about you the next time. I'm trying to think of another example. You're in a leadership position at your job, at your church, whatever, and you are accused of not fulfilling your responsibilities at some specific project at work, or some specific event at the church. You're accused of not fulfilling your responsibilities. So, again, you have options here on your reaction. Do you come back aggressive and say, I did blah, 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 and you get aggressive with them? Or do you follow Proverbs and remember a soft answer turns away wrath and say, let me check my daily schedule and see what all I invested into this event or project. And when you do that, that gives you time to catch your breath. It gives you time to actually check the facts. And maybe you don't keep a daily schedule. Maybe you have text messages or emails or record of phone calls, something like that. And then you can check it, right? And say, okay, well, this is what I've done. This is how many times I checked in. This is who I talked to. These are the hours I put in on this project at work. These are and reflect that to whoever is accusing you if they deserve your defense. Usually, if they're not a supervisor, I wouldn't bother. Honestly. Because I think sometimes we invest too much of our energy in explaining ourselves to people who actually don't affect our daily life. Like, I don't owe you an explanation of what I do with my time if you're in a completely different department at work and what I do doesn't really affect you. Now, if a supervisor comes to me, I don't mind explaining it to, whoever. And this is me speaking from, from my work experience. Because before I was a stay-at-home mom, I worked in various settings. I've had a lot of different careers. But anyways, I don't know if I get bored easily or I don't know. But I did work I'm thinking of one setting specifically, in an office setting with multiple offices, in departments supporting the main goal of the organization. But, if someone came to me and was like, oh, well, you didn't put in the time, blah, 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 and was ugly to me, which rarely happened because I try to be nice to people, so they're usually nice to me, then I would either say, oh, well, I'll check my daily schedule and make sure I'm investing enough time, and then just let them go on about their way on their business. But if my supervisor were to come to me, then I would say, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Allow me a few minutes to check my daily schedule to make sure I'm investing what I need to invest. And I'll give you a report of about the time spent on this. Right? Anyway, so make sure you're investing your energy in explaining. If you're going to explain yourself, invest your energy with someone who actually affects the outcome of your career, your daily life, your whatever. Someone who deserves your explanation and energy. Anyways, so giving yourself a minute or day, whatever, to cool down and actually check your schedule. That's your introspection. Okay, did I do what I was supposed to do? Were there responsibilities laid out for me that I didn't realize or I didn't acknowledge or I completely neglected? Now, if you did, own it and be better about it. I always told my students when I was a teacher, you mess up, you fess up. We can fix it. But if you lie to me, that's a no. I don't do lying and I don't do lazy. I told my little kids that in school, and I stand by it in my everyday interactions with humans. So your first response should be to check yourself, do introspection. Why is this bothering me so much? Is there something I need to do? Is there something? Okay, well, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, then why is what they're saying bothering me? Is it because this person is repeatedly saying these things? Are they a repeat offender? Literally a repeat offender? Are they offending me over and over and over again because they are, running their mouth about me and trying to tear down my reputation? And, are they actively trying to destroy some portion of my life? Is that why I'm bothered by it? Or am I bothered because I care too much? those are usually your three options, right? Either number one, there's a sliver of reality in there and you actually do need to fix something. Number two, this person is repeatedly offending you and running their mouth about you. Or number three, you care too much. So just use this as a guide. It's something I've been thinking about lately because I got feelings, believe it or not, I got feelings. And though my feelings are not always reality, they are real. And so I have to acknowledge, okay, that really bothered me when so-and-so said that. Why is it bothering me so much? Is this something I really think about myself and I'm just not acknowledging it? Is this something that I try to be better about and they're not noticing that I'm trying? Why is it bothering me? Now, if you're just walking around looking for a reason to be offended, that's not holy. And your mind is probably not where it should be, right? And make sure you are studying the Lord's word, talking with him. That'll change the way you process things. All right, friends, I'm going to sign off of here. Just so you know, we've only got a few episodes left before this season is over. I know I missed last week. I'm sorry, friends. It's been a crazy time. I'll update you guys on some of that probably later. Thank you for sticking around and listening. For those of you who have sent encouraging words, thank you so much. I don't usually get discouraging words, but every now and then I get some. So the encouraging words are so helpful. And they let me know what you guys are enjoying listening to, what you're needing at the time. If there are any suggestions on what you would like to hear some talks on in the future, let me know. If I don't know about it, I'll research it. I love to learn. If you could pay me to learn, that's what I would do. My whole life, I would just learn things and get paid for it. I'd love it, love it, love it. So hit me up. I hope this has helped in some way. Why do we get offended? Why do some things offend us more than others? Either one, there's a sliver of truth in there and it's something that we've really been bothered ourselves about. Number two, the person is repeatedly attempting to offend you. Number two, or number three, did I say number three? Number one, number two, number three, maybe you just care too much. You don't need to worry about what everybody thinks. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Well, that was fun. I'm glad you stuck around for the whole thing. And thank you for talking to me today. Y'all go like and follow and review and do all the podcast things that people do. And don't forget to be a good human.